Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblyx here, coming to you from the new frontier. How y'all doing today? Well, logged into the server, and looks like we got just a little bit of rain going on up in here. So, today we are going to get going further anyway with our Botania, along with a few other bits and bobs. So, strap in and enjoy the ride. We got our fully automatic pedal apothecary here. Now we want to make the first flower necessary in Botania, and that is a pure daisy. Very easy. We're just going to drop in 4 white petals. It does have to be white. Now as soon as you drop those in, you get this cool interface when you mouse over the pedal apothecary, and it tells you what you're trying to make. You'll see the pure daisy there off to the right. You'll see the 4 white petals rotating around in the middle, and you see it says plus a seed. So we're just going to drop 1 seed in. Bam! Now we got a pedal apothecary. Or I guess we already had a pedal apothecary, didn't we? We got a pure daisy. But you notice our pedal apothecary went in and filled back up for us. How nice is that? Now, we need a little bit of a space to lay this guy out, because what we're going to do with him requires some room. Bam! Now that is an unassuming looking plant, isn't it? It's just kind of sitting there doing its own little thing. You wouldn't think nothing about it if you walked by it. Well, it has a special principle. It likes to turn things from something into something else. So we're going to surround it with smooth stone, and you see that you get these little white particle effects. And in a little bit of time, this isn't going to be smooth stone anymore. Now I'm going to go ahead and quickly make us 1 more pure daisy, because I just like to have 2. Throw those in, throw 1 seed in, and we got our next pure daisy, and our apothecary went in and filled up again for us. So nice. Drop that other pure daisy around. Now this one, I'm going to put logs around it. And it doesn't matter what variety, doesn't matter what order you stick them in, if they're facing up or facing sideways or whatever. You'll see they're getting particle effects too. So I'm going to sit here for a minute and wait for these to convert. Oh, you see the stone already converting. Look at that. Now it's turned into living rock. This is a building foundation in Botania. You will use it to build a lot of different things. So we can go ahead and harvest this. Plus it looks really cool. It has a nice texture to it. I mean, it's a pretty block, I think. I use it in a lot of builds. So we're going to let this wood sit here and convert. Alright, our wood's also converted on us. It is turned from logs, from spruce logs if I remember right, into this living wood, which is awesome. And we can go ahead and harvest that as well. So now we got 8 pieces of living wood. This is another building block within Botania. So I am going to convert a bunch of wood and a bunch of logs. I brought some acacia out just to show you it doesn't matter what type of wood it is. It doesn't have to be, you know, oak or dark oak or acacia. It doesn't care. It's going to convert it all into the same kind of living wood with the same color. So any old log will turn into living wood. So I'm going to convert up a bunch of this, and I'll get back with you when that's done. Alright, we've converted a bunch of stone and a bunch of wood, and now we've got a 64 living wood and 64 living rock. That'll get us going. I want to show you one more thing these guys can do. They can actually do quite a few more things, but this one's pretty darn handy. If we take a little bit of wood And it doesn't have to be wood here. I'm just well, kind of just winging it actually. We do a little setup like this, and let me go get a little bit more water. And we put water here and water here. Notice how now the water has sparkles? Yeah, it does. If we just wait a little bit, you're gonna see we're gonna get snow. The Pure Daisy will turn running water. Now it does have to be running. That's why we set the source block back, one block. But it will turn running water into snow. All right, there we go. 2 blocks of snow. How handy. Just hit it with a shovel, break it into the snowballs, and it'll start creating again. So just a quick, easy way to make snow. You can always come back up here and craft it back into the blocks if you need it. I just want to show you. Like I said, it's kind of a little known thing that it can do. It can also turn like netherrack into cobblestone. That's kind of useless, to be honest with you. I can turn soul sand into regular sand. You can turn blaze lamps. If you have a whole bunch of blaze rods and you can make blaze lamps, you can turn that into obsidian. So, pretty useful little flower here. And our first steps in Botania. Alright there, folks. Let's go on and get going with this Botania stuff here. This is just the basics of it. First off, you want to create a Lexica Botanica. Now, to do that, you just need a book and a sapling of pretty much any kind. This is your first book in Botania. There are actually 2, but we can't get the second one yet. And it's a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah by Vasky here, the owner. If you hear noise in the background, that's a thunderstorm going on outside. Sorry about that. Obviously, I can't control the weather, so is what it is. My favorite way to use this pretty much is just go to the index and type whatever it is you want to find. But I highly recommend looking through it because it is a complex mod. There's a lot to it, and there's a ton of information in this here book. So we've got that crafted. Next, we're going to need a mana pool. That's that living rock we just made. Pull that out. We're going to need a mana spreader. That's that living wood we just made with a gold ingot and a petal of any color you want. Now we're going to need a wand. We need 3 of these living wood twigs. So just some living wood in us, just like you were going to make a stick, except for it makes twigs. We'll get 3 of those. We're going to come down here and put it with some petals. Just like that. Now the petal color doesn't matter other than it changes the colors on here. But it makes no effect as to how you use it. You are going to want this thing. You will use it a lot. So now we want to come out here and start setting up. I think we're going to put our mana pool, say right there. And we want our spreader facing into the pool. If it doesn't, don't worry, because you can always use your wand to readjust it. Now the wand has 2 modes. See, ours is pointing straight up right now. When we're holding our wand, you can see which direction it's going. It's shooting up into the sky. And see that little dot up there? That's how far the spreader can shoot. Now you won't see all that when you're not holding the wand. So if you shift click the wand, see how it says function mode down there at the bottom? If I shift click it again, it'll say bind mode. You want to be in bind mode, and then you want to shift click what you want to bind. I want to bind this spreader, so I'm going to shift click it. See, we get the blue or the multicolor outline around it there. And point what you want to bind it to and shift click that. I want to bind it to this mana pool. So I'm going to point that there. And there we go. Now we see it shooting into that pool, which is what we want. Alright, sorry folks, the obnoxious neighbor lets her kids scream right outside my office here. But let's get back to it. So what we want to make now is stuff called thermolilies. For each one, it's going to take 2 brown petals, 1 red petal, and 1 light gray petal, and 1 seed. So what we want to do is drop them in our apothecary. So we want the 2 browns, the 1 red, and the 1 light gray. Now see, we've got all 4 petals in there, and you can see it's going to make a thermolily off to the side there. If we drop a seed in, done. An Endoflame. Well, it used to be a thermolily, now it's an Endoflame. It is for power generation within the Botania mod. Now I want to make a couple of these guys. So let's knock this out real quick. Ooh, that rain's getting tough outside. So I'm just going to... Well, apparently I'm going to hit the wrong button. I'm just going to try to cue these in there. There we go. Listen for the sound of the water to refill. There we go. Boom. 4 Endoflames. Why, that automatic water sure is nice. So I'm going to drop these right around here. They do kind of place in a splotchy pattern. Don't worry about that too much. So let's run inside and get some coal. These guys will burn coal to make mana. And mana is the power for Botania. It is a tech mod. I often hear, oh, it's just flowers and stuff. No, it's a tech mod. Just like thermal expansion or immersive engineering, Ender IO, any of those. It's just done a little bit different way. Vasky, the creator, just kind of saw things differently, which is kind of cool. So I'm just going to throw whole blocks down there, and you're going to see these Endoflames. If I click them, I'm going to suck up that, turn it into mana, put it into the spreader, and then shoot it here into the pool. Let's see how that's working. And we've got a little tiny bit of mana down in there. So I'm going to sit here and do this for a minute and get our pool filled up pretty good with some mana. I don't think that's going to go. Oh, yeah, you got it. Let's see it shooting here into the pool, because we need this pool to have not to be full, but have a pretty good amount of mana in it before we go on to our next thing. So let me do that, and I'll get back with you. Now, one thing I want to show you real quick, because you can tell if these Endoflames are properly bound to an item, or anything for that matter, the spreader or whatever. If I'm holding my wand and I mouse over something, I can see what it's bound to. I can see that this mana spreader is bound to a mana pool, which is obviously the one right in front of it. If I mouse over the Endoflame, a little hard to see there, but if I move around, you can see that it does have the picture of the mana spreader with a green checkbox, so it is bound to this mana spreader. You can mouse over all of them and see that. So it's just a good way to tell that it is in fact connected and spraying mana in the right direction. Now, we didn't need to go through the binding process on these because we put the mana spreader down first. If we had put the flowers down first and then put the spreader, we would have had to bind them. And that's just the same way. Shift-click the flower, shift-click the spreader. Done. Super easy. You get the same little outline boxes and all that stuff. But because we did it in the order we didn't have to do that. So I'm going to keep on filling this up and get back with you. Alright, we've got some mana in there now. Not a huge amount, but enough to get going. Let's see if we got enough to do what I want to do here. I'm going to point down at this pool right here, and I'm going to drop an iron ingot into it. Now you see it jumped in and jumped out and came back out as a mana steel ingot. I'm also going to drop 2 glass in there. And you see those guys came back as mana glass. That is enough for us to make an hourglass. So we're going to come in here, put 4 gold, 2 redstone, 2 mana glass, and a mana steel ingot. Boom, hovering hourglass. That is going to be very useful for us because it's going to allow us to time things. And of course, I'm out of sand, so I'm going to have to go get some sand. Because with any good hourglass, you got to put sand in it. Now, sand will give you, I think it's 1 minute or 1 second per block of sand. Soul sand will get you, I think, 1 minute per block, if I remember right. All that's in the Lexica Botania. But what we're going to do is set up a quick little dropper to drop coal onto these Endoflames, so we don't have to sit here and do it ourselves, because, you know, I'm lazy. So let's jump up here. And I built us a dropper. And let's see if I can get it pointed down. Of course I can't. I think we'll actually just raise it up 1 more. I think that'll be the easier option. There we go. Point it down at our plants. And we're going to run a chest. Probably... We'll go off this way for now. Then I'm just going to use these transfer nodes that we used already before. Already before? Those are words, right? Yeah, okay, close enough. I'll drop coal in there. And you can see it's transferring it over here. So we can just keep that chest stocked up with stuff. And the dropper will drop. We're going to use our hourglass to control when the dropper drops. We need to get some sand, throw it in there, and this guy emits a redstone pulse every so many seconds, however many you put the sand in there for. So let me go get some sand and I'll be right back. Alright, heading over here to the desert. It's not too far from the house to get some sand. Yes, I know, I'm skipping all the red sand. I prefer to get the white stuff because there's so much more of it. And found this guy. And it's shooting at me and doing things. There. Oh, here we go again. See, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. A chaos node. This guy seems to be just random affecting you. Affecting? Man, I'm just all about the words today, aren't I? It's putting random effects on you. Some good, some bad. And apparently has evil crafted all up the ground here. Which is odd because it's from Silence Gems. But, yeah, we'll have to look into that a little more. Man, looks like just awful things have happened in this area, doesn't it? Looks like Dexter came over for a visit. And I think these are spreading. Anyway, let me get some sand so we can move on. You can see I've already done a little decimation in the area. We'll find a spot to not hurt. Ooh, look what I see over here. Yeah, I think I came over here once before and I just didn't remember this was even here. But, oh, nice little oasis. But another, and I'm in a hole. Meteorite. What's up, bunny? This is a monstrous meteorite, and it is almost nighttime, so we are not got time to sit here and dally with that. Are we going to be out here fighting the whole world? But we need to remember that's there so we can get our applied energistics going. Though, to be honest with you, I prefer refined storage, and that's probably what we're going to use. But, shh, don't tell anybody. Both mods are actually in the pack. Applied Energistics. Actually, it's Applied Logistics and Refined Storage. Hey, what's up, Chaos Thing? You gonna shoot me? You're just gonna sit there and spin. Yeah, there's another one way off there and another one right there. They're everywhere. Oh well. Ooh, which? Gotta go to combat mode here. But yeah, I prefer refined storage. I know a lot of people say it's laggy and whatnot. It's really not if you build it properly. Problem is, everyone I've ever seen built is built improperly. So that would be why it's so laggy. But I'll show you how to do it right so that it's not laggy. But we probably will also get into applied logistics just so you can see what that's all about and how to do that too. Look at this. Storage is becoming a problem. I do have things on the floor that will address that. But one thing at a time, one thing at a time. Still need sand. Went all the way over there to get sand and got sidetracked with dadgum shiny objects. Man, that's all modded is, right? A whole bunch of shiny objects. Good lord, look at the sword on this guy. Okay. You too. Dead. There was another dude here. He seems to have vanished. Oh well. Now, I do know about that sword. I will show you about it a little bit later. There's some cool stuff you can do with it. Our mob spawner, you can see up there, is an excellent source for those things. If you want the swords, man, this does not dig sand worth a flip. How awesome this battle axe is for digging up stone and stuff. It just stinks on sand. I really should have brought a shovel. Yes, I know there's vein miner, but if I do that, it's going to be one big, gigantic, ugly hole, and I don't like that. So, I'll sit here and dig for a little bit and get us some sand going. Guess we don't need that much. We're just doing a hourglass, so you just need however much you need for whatever. I see you, spider. Don't think I don't. You want to go, bro? Let's see who jumps first. Me? Oh yeah, you did. Lost it. I thought I saw some. Yeah, there's some slime popping off that island. That ought to be enough sand to get us going. Shouldn't need more than 30 seconds. So let's run on back. By the way, you probably want to avoid this mess. It's kind of gnarly. Probably should have just became a blaze or something and flown over here, but what you gonna do? Gets so dark under there when you run underneath the mob spawner. I always forget it's there. And I'm like, what happened? Did it start raining or something? Alright, so we're gonna take. Let's start out with 20. Drop it in there. And if we take our wand, we can see it does 20 seconds. We can lock it if we right click it. So that way you can't take the sand out. Otherwise you would be able to accidentally pull the sand out. See, it says it's locked. So every 20 seconds it's going to flip and trigger our dropper to drop another piece of coal. Which of course the spreader or the Endoflames will turn into mana. The spreader will pick up the mana and shoot the mana into the pool. Now obviously this isn't automated. It's automated to drop it, but it's not automated to shut off. So we got to keep an eye on this. 20 is definitely not enough. We're gonna have to up that to 40. Here we go. But we're gonna have to keep an eye on this and manually shut it off by just yanking the sand out when this guy gets full, because we don't want to waste our coal. We have a ton of it, but we don't want to waste it. So now that that's cruising, we can go ahead and come on back in here, because like I said, we're gonna let that cook for a while. But this storage situation, this is getting on my nerves. Yeah. So we got a little something down here that we're going to use to correct this problem here. Let's just make our storage problem worse by shoving more junk into these crates. Ugh, irritating. So I've got laid out on the floor here some devices that are going to help us do this. Now this is kind of a mid-tier storage system. So these are great early game storage. When you're just going, we've obviously cruising along here pretty good. We're collecting resources pretty reasonably. We got a mob farm that just makes a stupid amount of resources, which we will be addressing soon. But I want to get these addressed first because I use these the most, and they're just getting full and obnoxious. These two aren't too bad. It's just stuff everywhere, and just, ugh. You know, these aren't so bad, but man, this one is just, man, that's a lot of pretty stuff, but holy cripes. You know, this one, all that stuff out of the mob farm, the chickens, it's just a pain. We're going to fix that. So, we're going to come down here and we're going to make a machine frame. We're going to make 4 of them, actually, because we're going to make 4 of these guys. Iron, lapis, gold nuggets, not hard. Right? We're going to drop that machine frame right there. We're going to make some RF tools modular storage. So that's redstone, some quartz, so you will have had to gone to the nether, and some chest. So boom. Now these things are cool. Alright, good grief. This is the day of every flippin' noise that could be heard is going to be heard. Just nobody wants me to record today. That must be the story. So anyway, these guys are very cool. They're great, like I said, mid-tier storage system. You wouldn't want to use it as your in-game storage system, but you definitely want to get into it as quick as you can. And I never see people use it, which is amazing to me because it's awesome. And I will show you some super cool things you can do with it. So you will see if we right-click in this interface, you've got basically nothing, and you can't put anything in there. It's because we've created the device but not the actual storage. So we're about to do that now. So we're going to come in here. We need to create these storage modules. These are what hold the items. So we've got some chest, some iron, some gold nuggets, that is, redstone and quartz, again, back to the nether. We're going to make 4 of those. They do not stack. But if I throw one of these in here, now I can hold items. And I can change the view. I have them listed out different ways. Store, whatever you want to store. Up to 100 stacks. So 100 stacks of items. It's not a great place to store items like this that don't stack, because you can only keep 100 of them in there. But 100's great, but I'm kind of greedy. I want more. One of the cool things you can do is, after you've built this level 1, when you get more resources, you can upgrade it to a level 2, which will hold 200 stacks. Now you're using gold ingots instead of nuggets, but basically the same recipe. Unfortunately, since it doesn't stack, you have to do them in each one at a time. but that's alright. So now we've got our level 2s. We can do 200 stacks of items. So I'm going to leave those torches in there. We're going to pull that out and we're going to upgrade it again. This time we've gone to blocks. So as you get playing along and you get more and more stuff and you need to go to a level 3, you can. Again, we're back into blocks, and this time it's quartz blocks, redstone blocks, and gold blocks. Everything done went to the block. But now we can pull out a level 3, which is 300 stacks. And the cool thing is, it didn't lose the items. You can upgrade on the fly, which is awesome. So let's actually go ahead and drop a storage module in each of these. I need to upgrade these real quick. So 2 to 3, 2 to 3, and 2 to 3. So that's going to give us 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 1,200 stacks of items that we can store. That's a huge amount of storage space compared to this, and in only 4 blocks. These are also searchable, so if I put buckets and pork chops and torches in here and I just say torch, you just get the torches. Now in this setup, if I were to put the torches, take those out, put them in the bottom one down here and search the top one, you're not going to find the torches because they're in the other unit. But there's a way to address that as well. But first off, I need to clear out some space here by getting rid of these obnoxious chests that were great on day 1, not so great today. So give me a little time, let me clear this up, and I'll get back with you. Alright, got everything moved over. Got most of these are about half full. So got stone, wood, and food up here. Mob drops, and shiny shinies. Oops, apparently I missed one there. I wanted to show you these guys do work without power, no need of power, and you get this nice little indicator here to show you how full it is, which is pretty handy. At a glance, at a distance, you can tell where it's at. I did show you can't read into each of the other chests. You can't be inside this one and read inside this one, for example. But I'm going to show you now how to do that. So, with a couple redstone torches, some ender pearls, another machine frame, which we've already made, and some gold, we can make this storage scanner. So we're going to drop this bad boy right here. And this guy does use power. You can see RF up there at the top. So we're going to give him some cable, and now he will be able to see all of our other chests. See the other modular storage systems show up? It even shows you where it's at, what block it's at. So from in here, we can look at the inventory of each one of those chests, our storage, modular storage devices. I wish I had a different name. I don't like that name. But if we look at all routable and torch, it says, hey, you got torches in there. So if we click there, we can see it. If I say wheat, for example, the one highlighted yellow has wheat. So pretty darn handy. If I want to look up Electrum, so I can go, ooh, hello. I backed out of it and it freaked everything out. There we go. Well, if I spell it right, it's showing me Electrums down here. If I click it, there it is, and I can use it. Pull it into my inventory, do what I want with it. And I can set up some autocraft recipes over here as well, which are pretty handy for things you make a lot. Chest is a good example. I seem to make a ton of just regular old vanilla wooden chest. You know, we used them even in these guys. So, you know, having an autocraft for that's pretty darn handy. So, that's just a cool little trick for great mid-game storage system. You can expand upon it. I can keep adding more of these modular systems around. They don't have to physically be attached to it, but they do have to be within range. I did make one crate for non-stackable items such as potions and weapons and armor, books, pets, things like that. Just stuff that doesn't stack. I don't want to clog up the storage system with that nonsense. So, and it doesn't use a ton of RF. You see it's full, it's staying full. And there you go. Alright guys, that's all the time we got for today, but I sure do appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me, as always. So, until the next time, get out there and make some noise. See ya!